The desert winds moved slowly across the endless sands of ancient Egypt. Far from the villages along the Nile, beneath a sky filled with stars brighter than any torchlight, a group of workers rested beside unfinished stone foundations. They had spent months carrying blocks across the burning desert, building monuments ordered by the pharaoh himself. Yet no one understood why the pharaoh demanded structures so massive that even hundreds of men struggled to move a single stone. Old priests claimed the gods had spoken through dreams. They said a stairway to the heavens must be built before the arrival of the sky visitors. Most people laughed in silence, believing the priests had gone mad from years beneath the sun. But on that night, everything changed. A strange humming sound rolled through the air. At first, the workers believed it was thunder, yet the sky above Egypt held no clouds. The sound grew louder, deeper, vibrating through the sand itself. Camels screamed in panic. Torches flickered violently. Even the Nile seemed to move unnaturally. Then the stars disappeared. A gigantic shadow moved across the heavens. Men fell to their knees as a massive triangular object descended silently from the darkness. Blue light poured from beneath it, illuminating the desert like daylight. The object floated without wings, without sails, without fire. It moved as though gravity itself obeyed its command. The priests immediately bowed their heads. "The gods have arrived," one whispered. A circular doorway opened beneath the giant craft. Thick white mist spread across the sand as tall figures slowly emerged. They were unlike any humans ever seen. Their skin reflected silver under the moonlight. Their eyes glowed faintly blue, almost like stars hidden within their faces. They wore black armor covered in symbols no Egyptian could understand. Fear consumed the workers. Some tried to run, but the sand beneath their feet began to shake. The mysterious beings raised their hands calmly, and suddenly the trembling stopped. One of the aliens stepped forward carrying a crystal sphere glowing with soft blue energy. The sphere projected symbols into the air above the crowd. Strange images appeared: stars, planets, galaxies, and finally enormous pyramids stretching toward the sky. The oldest priest approached carefully. "You came from the heavens," he whispered. The alien did not speak with words. Instead, a voice echoed directly inside the minds of everyone present. "We crossed the stars to guide your world." Several workers collapsed in terror. The alien continued. "The pyramids must be completed before the alignment of the great stars. Hidden beneath this land is a source of power older than your civilization." The pharaoh, who had secretly traveled to inspect the construction site that very night, stepped from his guarded tent. Though surrounded by soldiers, he looked smaller than ever before. "What do you want from Egypt?" he demanded, the glowing-eyed being turned toward him slowly. "To prepare humanity." The alien lifted its hand toward the desert horizon. Instantly, beams of blue light shot from the hovering craft into the unfinished pyramid stones. Thousands of massive blocks began rising into the air as if they weighed nothing. The workers stared in shock. Entire stone columns floated silently across the desert. The impossible had begun. News of the sky visitors spread through Egypt faster than the Nile itself. Villagers whispered about glowing beings who commanded the stars. Some called them gods. Others believed they were demons sent to test mankind. But inside the pharaoh's palace, fear was growing. Every night, the enormous triangular ship returned above the desert construction site. The aliens worked in complete silence. Strange blue beams lifted stones heavier than entire houses and moved them through the air with impossible precision. Human workers could only watch as the massive pyramids slowly grew larger each night. No ropes, no wheels, no armies of slaves. Only light. The pharaoh gathered his advisors and priests inside the golden throne chamber. "If these beings can build mountains from stone," he said nervously, "then they can destroy Egypt just as easily." One priest shook his head. "They have not harmed us. Perhaps they truly are messengers from the heavens." But General Menkora, commander of the pharaoh's army, did not trust them. "They hide their true purpose," he warned. "No creature with such power comes without a price." Meanwhile, a young stone worker named Kepri had become obsessed with the visitors. Unlike the others, he was not only afraid, he was curious. Every night after the laborers slept, he secretly climbed nearby dunes to watch the aliens work. He noticed details no one else saw. The aliens never touched the stones directly. Their glowing devices controlled everything. Symbols floated in the air around them like moving constellations. Sometimes the pyramid itself emitted low vibrations that echoed through the sand. One evening, Kepri saw something even stranger. A section of the pyramid opened, not with doors. The stone itself dissolved into glowing dust. Curious beyond reason, Kepri crept closer. Inside the hidden chamber stood a massive crystal taller than any man. Blue energy pulsed through it like lightning trapped inside glass. Around the crystal stood several aliens speaking in their strange, silent language. Kepri suddenly heard the voice again inside his mind. The core is awakening. He froze. One of the aliens slowly turned toward him. For a moment, Kepri believed he would die. Instead, the being approached calmly. Its glowing eyes stared directly into his soul. "You seek answers," the alien voice echoed within him. Kepri nodded weakly. "What is the pyramid truly for?" The alien raised its hand toward the crystal. "This world stands at the center of an ancient network. Long before humanity existed, civilizations traveled between stars using gates powered by structures like these." Kepri could barely understand. "Then the pyramid is a machine?" "Yes." The chamber trembled suddenly. The crystal brightened violently. Outside, the desert sky darkened unnaturally as storm clouds formed above the pyramid. Lightning flashed across the horizon. The alien's expression changed. "Something has followed us." Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the chamber. Far above the desert, another object appeared in the sky. But this ship was not glowing blue. It burned red. The red ship descended through the storm clouds like a burning meteor. Villagers across Egypt woke screaming as thunder shook the earth. Animals fled into the desert. Even the Nile waters churned violently beneath the unnatural sky. Inside the pyramid chamber, the blue-eyed aliens became tense for the first time. Kepri watched as glowing symbols flashed rapidly across the walls. "Who are they?" he asked. The alien leader looked toward the ceiling where distant explosions echoed. "Our enemies." Outside, beams of crimson light shot from the red craft toward the desert below. Entire dunes exploded into fire. Egyptian soldiers scattered in terror as heat waves rolled across the sand. The pharaoh's army had never seen war like this. General Menkora ordered archers to fire, but arrows vanished uselessly against invisible shields surrounding the enemy's ship. The blue triangular craft rose into the storm-filled sky to intercept the attacker. Then the heavens exploded. Massive beams of blue and red energy collided above the pyramids, illuminating Egypt brighter than the sun itself. The sound shattered windows across nearby villages. Workers fell to the ground, covering their ears. Kepri and the alien leader climbed to the outer platform of the unfinished pyramid. From there, they watched the impossible battle rage among the clouds. "Why are they attacking?" Kepri shouted. The alien's voice entered his mind again. "They fear humanity's future." The enemy ship suddenly unleashed dozens of smaller black crafts that swarmed across the sky like mechanical insects. Blue energy cannons from the alien defenders fired back, destroying several instantly. Burning debris rained across the desert. The enemy ship suddenly unleashed dozens of smaller black crafts that swarmed across the sky like mechanical insects. Blue energy cannons from the alien defenders fired back, destroying several instantly. Burning debris rained across the desert. Then Kepri saw something horrifying. One black craft crashed directly into a nearby village. Flames consumed homes within seconds. People ran screaming. Kepri turned angrily toward the alien. "You brought this war to us." For the first time, the being lowered its head. "Yes." The pyramid beneath them began vibrating more intensely. The glowing crystal deep within the structure pulsed like a heartbeat. The alien leader pointed toward the stars. "Your species was never meant to remain primitive forever. One day humans will travel beyond Earth. Our enemies wish to prevent that future." Suddenly, a deafening blast struck the blue alien ship. Fire erupted from one side as it spiraled downward toward the desert. The enemy vessel prepared another attack. Kepri realized the defenders were losing. What happens if they destroy the pyramid? The alien looked directly into his eyes. "Then Earth will remain trapped in darkness for thousands of years." Another explosion shook the structure. The alien leader handed Kepri a small glowing crystal. "If we fail, You must hide this beneath the pyramid where no king, army, or empire will ever find it. Kepri stared at the object. What is it? A key. The alien suddenly stepped backward as energy surrounded its body. Blue light exploded upward from the pyramid's peak, shooting directly into the sky. The stars themselves seemed to move. A massive circular portal began opening above Egypt. The enemy ship immediately turned toward it. The final battle had begun. The portal above the desert expanded until it covered the stars themselves. Swirling blue energy lit the night sky, while powerful winds swept across the sands. Egyptian soldiers abandoned their weapons and fled. Priests dropped to their knees, believing the end of the world had arrived. Kepri clutched the glowing crystal tightly as the pyramid trembled beneath him. The alien leader stood at the summit with arms raised toward the portal. Streams of blue light flowed from the structure into the sky, feeding the enormous gateway. Then the enemy attacked. The red warship unleashed a devastating beam directly toward the pyramid's peak. The blast struck with enough force to crack massive stone blocks apart. Entire sections collapsed into the desert below. Kepri was thrown violently across the platform. The alien leader remained standing inside a shield of blue energy. You must go, the voice echoed in Kepri's mind. Another explosion shook the structure. Huge cracks spread through the pyramid walls. Kepri stumbled toward the hidden chamber deep within the monument. Behind him, battle continued to rage across the sky. The sound of alien weapons echoed like thunder from the heavens. As he descended through narrow corridors, torches extinguished one by one. Only the blue crystal in his hand illuminated the darkness. At the chamber entrance, he stopped. The massive energy core glowed brighter than ever before. Symbols floated across its surface. Suddenly, images appeared around him. He saw Earth from space. He saw countless civilizations rising and falling across time. He saw humans traveling among stars in distant futures. Then he saw destruction, worlds burning, planets collapsing, an endless war spreading through galaxies. The crystal's voice whispered within his mind. The future is never fixed. Kepri fell to his knees. What am I supposed to do? Protect the key. The chamber shook violently again. Dust rained from the ceiling. Above, the alien defenders were losing. Kepri quickly searched the chamber walls until he discovered a narrow, hidden passage descending even deeper underground. At the end stood a small stone altar covered in ancient markings older than Egypt itself. He placed the glowing key into a circular opening. Instantly, the entire chamber responded. The walls sealed shut behind him. The energy core dimmed, and the pyramid suddenly became silent. Far above the desert, the blue portal began collapsing. The alien leader looked toward the pyramid one final time. You have done well, child of Earth. The enemy ship fired again. But before the blast could strike, the remaining blue alien craft accelerated directly into the red warship. A blinding explosion erupted across the heavens. Both ships vanished in fire. The shockwave spread across Egypt like a storm. Then silence. The stars slowly returned. The storm clouds disappeared, and the desert became still once more. When survivors emerged at sunrise, the aliens were gone. Only the Great Pyramid remained standing beneath the morning sun. Its secrets buried forever beneath stone, or so humanity believed. Thousands of years passed. Empires rose and collapsed into dust. Pharaohs became legends. Armies marched across Egypt searching for treasure hidden inside the pyramids. Yet none discovered the truth buried beneath the ancient stone. The world changed. Humanity invented machines, crossed oceans, built cities of steel and glass, and eventually reached toward the stars exactly as the alien visitors had predicted. But the secret remained hidden. Until now. In the year 2029, a team of archaeologists arrived at the Great Pyramid after strange energy readings were detected deep underground. Satellites had recorded unusual electromagnetic pulses beneath the structure, signals unlike anything produced naturally. Dr. Elias Carter, leader of the expedition, believed the readings were caused by an undiscovered chamber. Most scientists laughed at him. Still, he continued searching. For weeks, the team scanned tunnels hidden beneath the pyramid. Nothing appeared unusual. Then, during a violent desert storm, the sensors suddenly activated. A section of stone moved. The hidden passage opened for the first time in thousands of years. Dr. Carter and his team descended carefully into darkness untouched since ancient times. Their lights illuminated walls covered in symbols no historian could translate. At the end of the corridor stood a sealed chamber. Inside waited the crystal, still glowing, still alive. The moment Dr. Carter approached it, every electronic device around him shut down. Then the crystal awakened. Blue light filled the chamber. Images appeared in the air exactly as they had for Kepri long ago. Stars, galaxies, alien worlds, and finally, Earth. A voice echoed through the chamber. "We have watched your species grow." Several researchers backed away in terror. Dr. Carter remained frozen. "Who are you?" he whispered. "We were your guardians." The crystal projected one final image. Far beyond Earth, hidden within the darkness of space, enormous red ships slowly moved between the stars. The same enemy from ancient Egypt had returned. "They are coming." The chamber trembled as the crystal's energy intensified. Humanity's satellites across the planet suddenly detected massive objects appearing near the edge of the solar system. Governments panicked. Military forces mobilized. But deep beneath the pyramid, the ancient message continued. The gate can be reopened. The knowledge remains within the pyramid. Humanity must choose between fear or the stars. Dr. Carter stared at the glowing crystal. For thousands of years, humanity believed the pyramids were tombs. But they had never been tombs. They were a warning. In a doorway, above the desert, strange blue lights slowly appeared once more in the night sky. The visitors were returning.